Grizzlor having really bad day.
What's happening out there? Ken here from the Retro Toy Escapades channel in Malaysia. Mattel has launched their More Tuesday initiative, promising to provide us with all new MOTO product news every Tuesday and fresh content to be covered on YouTube. Today's installment had rehashes of almost everything that we already saw from the SDCC 2022 footage online, but for the first time in an official format. Of particular interest, and the subject of this video is the announcement of the Mattel Creations exclusive Grizzlor action figure. Now this is Exclusive Grizzlor Part 2, the sequel to last year's blockbuster sold out exclusive. Now, I gotta say that it's great to finally get a clearer picture of the set. The one that I saw from the video footage at SDCC had a lot of employee heads from the panel just blocking the screen. This one is so much better. Now, just as a quick recap, the first Origin-styled Grizzlor figure was released last year as a Dark Grizzlor variant and part of the PowerCon 2021 Horde 4-pack set. This version was packed together with some of Grizzlor's evil Horde buddies, and the Grizzlor figure came with a green crossbow, a recycled Ram Man axe, and an alternate hand, plus his trademark realistic fur body. But why was it called the Dark Grizzlor? Well, it's based off a darker color variant of the figure from the vintage line, and that's right, even back in the 80s, variants were a thing. Now, if you missed this set the first time around, well, shit, you're out of luck, alright? Because the original retail on this was about $150, and then BBTS had it for something like $229, and it sold out as well. And now, currently, I think you can get it for probably about maybe $250 online from your friendly neighborhood eBay reseller. The version that's coming out in this new set is utilizing the more standard colors of the traditional vintage Grizzlor figure. But guess what? It's still an exclusive, right? You know what I mean? Last year's one was an exclusive. You kind of thought that, okay, look, they got that out of the way. Then they're going to give us the standard regular figure later. But nope, it's still an exclusive. And that means that you're going to have to fight for it with your teeth and claws if you have to.
Grizzlor not like stupid buckethead man. Grizzlor destroy. Wait, that's my axe.
Now, since this is an exclusive, the rear of the card back features a full painted art image, and I assume that this is brought to us by the astonishing Axel Jimenez, and the image here is of Grizzlor stalking and terrorizing an attractive looking female. Now, I wonder if this is in fact a homage to the original mini-comic story in which Grizzlor first appeared, which was called Grizzlor, The Legend Comes Alive. I should have that around here somewhere. But also, at the same time, this new set is bound to also come with its own mini-comic, and probably the story in the mini-comic explains what's happening here in the cardback image. Grizzlor, The Legend Comes Alive. Now, this is one of those mini-comics that was kind of going for a horror tone, and I think they largely succeeded, except for the title. The title seems a bit comical, you know. The story in the mini-comic has Tila being stalked and terrorized by Grizzlor, similar to the fate of the young lady that we saw in the cardback image earlier. It's one of the best mini-comics produced of the era, comes highly recommended, so do check it out. Now, the question that appears to be tormenting most fans out there is, why is there a need for Grizzlor to still be an exclusive? I mean, haven't they already worked out all of the exclusivity? Why are they still going down this route? From the outside, it kind of looks like the figure comes with everything that the previous exclusive version came with. I mean, he's got the axe, the crossbow, not really sure about the alternate hand. He's got the all-new deco, definitely. And he does come with, you know, what appears to be a new comic book, all right? He will actually come with a new mini-comic, as we can assume, and new packaging, and most definitely, the brown mailer box. Okay, guys, don't forget about the brown mailer box. Now, a lot of fans have taken to social media as of this morning to voice their dissatisfaction with the announcement of Grizzlor being an exclusive. Now, if you were to go over to the official Masters of the Universe Facebook and Instagram pages on social media where the postings went up, you will be able to see a lot of negative feedback, and most of it bordering on sarcasm from a variety of fans. And of course, Mattel is not going to be responding to any of these comments. I did see one respond though, like an official response from the account. Somebody on the post just said that, hey, I had an original Grizzlor figure, and the reply from Masters was that, nice, okay. So yeah, I mean, obviously a company like Mattel isn't going to be responding to temper tantrums like this. But yeah, I mean, people have been hitting, like slamming on that dislike button, and you got to wonder though. I mean, if there was a situation that Mattel was looking at the thing there, they saw the number of dislikes like soar up to, let's say, about 500, 800 dislikes on the post. Would that mean that if Mattel were to actually produce this figure and release it for commercial retail, would that mean that they would actually be able to expect 800 people, like the 800 people who disliked the post? Would that mean that this would actually translate into sales? Would they be able to expect 800 people to actually purchase this thing right off the bat? No. Okay. I mean, I think that they know that as well. Right. I mean, there's something about the property, definitely. All right. There's a lot of fans out there for sure. Okay. But not everybody is investing in the action figures. And there's something about this particular figure that's a little bit different. If you really think about it. And I mean, I'm just thinking about it to myself and I'm speculating, what could be special about this particular figure that makes it, probably not so palatable for a retail release in this particular line. What could it be?
Islamic bucket hitman, gone, make you gone.
Now, as covered, that first Grizzlor figure came in that PowerCon set from last year, which had 4 figures all together in one set. And, Grizzlor was like an all-new mold. All right, technically it was like an all-new figure. I think it had all new tooling. Definitely the body sculpt is all new. The face sculpt is all new. Most importantly, the realistic fur body is all new. All right, and I gotta imagine that fur body and the new tooling combined together, that's gotta add up to some kind of cost. All right, especially for a line where you don't actually have other furry creatures running around. Okay, you just have this one guy, all right, that's got the fur body, that's got the realistic fur body, and that's been something that's been set into place since the 80s. All right, so there's no other figures in Masters of the Universe that has been released, so far that has this fur body like Grizzlor. Now, the cost of that probably would have been spread out across this whole set here, where you have 2 duplicate Hot Troopers. Right, the Hot Trooper was a new sculpt as well, but it was duplicated twice. All right, probably also to help to cover for the cost of that new tooling, that brand new tooling for that Grizzlor figure. The Hodak was also kind of like a retool. Most of the parts was already in existence from the previous wave, the previous figures that came out, the Buzzsaw Hodak, the original Hodak figure, and they just added some new accessories to it and stuff like that. Now, you could get this set at PowerCon 2021 last year for $150, or it was available online as well at a very limited window of opportunity. Okay, it just sold out. But the fact of the matter is that you're paying essentially for 2 brand new figures. Right? The cost of the whole set is steep. It's like more than double the figures at retail, right? But you're paying essentially for the tooling, I suppose, for 2 brand new figures, and just some additional parts added in for the other figures and recoloring and stuff like that, and of course the packaging. Let's not forget the packaging. So the release of these 4 figures as an exclusive, coupled with the fact that it was paired with a much hyped event like PowerCon, would have guaranteed a sellout, and that sellout would have helped in actually recuperating some of the costs, right, for the new tooling on these 2 figures. Bear in mind that the Hot Trooper is a brand new tooling from top to bottom. Right? It's got a shape and design that's totally different from any of the other reused figures in the Masters of the Universe Origins line so far. And so they would have expected to recoup at least some of the costs, but definitely not all. And then later in the year, as we headed into this year, the earlier half of this year, we actually had the Hot Trooper released, a standard release Hot Trooper figure. Now, how has that figure actually performed at retail? I don't know, man. You tell me. I remember the pent-up excitement in the fan community when the Hot Trooper was about to drop in Wave 8 earlier this year, and everybody was saying stuff like, yo, I'm going to get like 5. No, I'm going to get 10. Dude, I'm going to get 20. And the fact of the matter is just that the Hot Trooper turned out to actually not be a rare figure. I know that there are markets out there that never received this figure, based on the reports that I'm seeing. And in Malaysia, the figure was never released at retail, but it was available online, all right? And the figure is not a hard-to-get figure. The question is just that have people actually been going out there and finding means to get it? If you were to go to Big Bad Toy Store right now, the Hot Trooper, the Wave 8 Hot Trooper, is in stock at standard retail rates, US retail rates of $18.99. So there are a lot of these figures actually out there, right? It's not a situation like it's like Wave 2 or Wave 3. This is a wave of figures that are actually available in abundance out there. And I kind of feel that probably there's a lot of Hot Troopers out there too. and they are in stock. And I've also shared pictures on Instagram prior to this where fans had put up photos of stores in the US where there was actually Wave 8 figures on display, and they were hot troopers right there on the shelves. And they were just there. Nobody was picking them up. How come? Now, again, this is just speculation, but I would think that perhaps for a figure like this and the cost involved to put all that fur on that new tooling, I would think that this is not a figure that they would want to see just lounging around store shelves, all right, for months while people just wait for the thing to be on clearance. I don't think they want this thing to be bought only when it's on clearance. They want it to be bought up ASAP, okay, because there's a huge cost involved. I can only imagine so. And we've seen the photos ourselves, all right, stocks, hordes of them, just lying there for months. What's happening, right? You get the impression that there's a lot of fans out there who are just ready to pick this thing up. But when the actual thing is in hand, would they? Now, I feel every single day that we've been very fortunate these last 2 years to be able to enjoy new Masters of the Universe product, especially Origins at retail. But it's been an experiment all along from the start. And I would say that it's been a failed experiment. It started out like, really hot out the gate. Okay, maybe just for the first few waves, maybe wave 1 to 3, like I talked about in the videos before this as well. And it's fizzled out. And what's left right now is just a hardcore dedicated group of collectors, but it's not sufficient. All right, it's not sufficient at the volumes that are necessary for these figures to actually be out there and mass retail. Now, there's a combination of factors. You need to be Mattel needs to be relying on a fan base that's actually 35 to 40 years and above, and they need to be fans of Masters of the Universe. They also need to be fans of the toys. Okay, they actually have to be into the toys, and they most importantly need to be able to support and invest in the actual toys, right? To support the brand when the toys are out there, not just wait, months or years down the road to get, critical figures. I don't think that something like Grizzlor is supposed to be hanging around store shelves, right? It's supposed to be consumed immediately, and that's probably why the mechanic for this thing is as such, to make sure that the fans are alert, right? To make sure that this thing goes out in the way that it's supposed to. Now, if the brand actually consisted of an entire range of furry-like creatures, then yeah, I would say that it's totally within their reach to produce more of them, okay? And for mass market. But, Grizzlor appears to be like the only one in the team, and that's why he technically kind of stands out. It's not like a situation that we had in the 80s where there were a lot of these furry toy brands, okay, like the Popples, guys. You guys remember that? Popples, they pop in and they pop out, from the makers of the Care Bears. Calm down, Grizzlor, calm down. The bucket hitman's gone. Okay, calm down. Now, of course, this theory of the Grizzlor figure being released as an exclusive to recover most of its costs up front, it's just speculation, all right? Of course, anyone's free to say that Mattel is a huge multi-billion-dollar company, all right? Why do they need to worry about costs? Well, at the same time, every brand needs to justify its own existence. And the track record for Masters of the Universe, the way it's been, I think that we're also very lucky that they have a brand team right there that obviously really believes in the property. When all is said and done, I think that much is apparent. Because some of the projects that you see them doing, I'm looking at it in disbelief as well, because I'm looking at tons of stocks of the products just lying around here. But here they go announcing a lot more stuff that's on the way. And definitely, yeah, if you look at the stuff that's coming, like the Snake Man and stuff like that, look, maybe this is stuff that's actually meant to reinvigorate the brand again. Okay, so fans that have just fallen off since the end of Wave 3, they're going to be back again when they see the all-new Snake Man figures and the Snake Man packaging. And plus, these figures also go back to the more traditional, plastic-made figures. They're not really complicated if you think about it. And if you notice as well, like with the Snake Man figures of Rattlor and Cobra Khan, they no longer actually have the more complicated engineering for the action features. I suppose that maybe this could be a sign of them cutting back a little bit, probably, I'm not really sure. But either way, I guess, we should just be thankful that Masters of the Universe product is still coming out there. Some of it may be exclusives. There's a reason for that. But for me personally, I'm just going to be riding the wave, and I'm waiting on the announcements, okay, for the drop dates of these pre-orders. Okay, just give them to me right now, all right? Grizzlor and Camo Khan. All right, tell me when it's happening, guys.
You want Grizzlor? Grizzlor, come for you! Ah!